What is going on, everybody? My name is Kneeckoh. Welcome back to another Regulation Age video. We are ranking the top 5 fire-type Pokemon for Regulation Age. We've already got Grass, we've got Water done, and I've got a couple friends on here. I've got Mr. Kurtastic.
That's me.
And we've got John LukeVGC today.
I'm in an airport.
He is in an airport. He's leaving for vacation and his flight's delayed. And I will do my darndest.
Do more work.
I'm gonna do my darndest to edit out all of the background noise. It's actually not bad, but so
I specifically asked if this was okay, and he said yes. So blame Kneeckoh if anything. If you all are annoyed.
As John Luke's lawyer, he's in the clear here.
So, like I said, we did Grass, which ended up being 6. We did an honorable mention. It ended up being 6 Pokemon. We did Water. Today we're doing Fire. I mean, I don't really think we have to talk about the first one on the list. It's Incineroar.
Oh, I was going to say Darmanitan.
Is Darmanitan even in the game?
No, it's not, and I think that's why it's not on this list today.
So yeah, Incineroar, obviously going to be #1 on the list. It's just really good, although I don't think it's as good as I was expecting it to be in this format. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I still feel like, I mean, it's Incin, it's a staple, it's arguably the strongest VGC mon of all time. Like, let's just be realistic with that. And now in Gen 9, don't forget too, it has access to knockoff, which is good, which is something it's never had before. So being able to have that strong stab move to remove items on top of its just great bulk, great utility that it's always had, and being able to change the way it's typing, it's just really good. Yeah.
I feel, at least what I've noticed is I feel like there's so much, there's a lot of rain in Reg Age so far. There's a lot of rain, and I feel like it makes it very, very scary. And our Chaludon's very good, Pelipper's very good. There's a lot of really good water types. I feel like it makes Incineroar kind of on the back foot.
Yeah,
because you basically have to. Yeah, I mean, you basically have to run Will-O-Wisp if you want to do any form of rain, which gets rid of one of its best damaging moves.
And I feel like the Will-O-Wisp variation doesn't feel as good in this format.
I agree.
Just because there's not as many big heavy hitters. Like you can take so many more hits in this format. So I feel like Will-O-Wisp just doesn't feel as good as it used to. I definitely prefer the Flare Blitz, at least in my testing.
I agree.
Willow's definitely good for the few physical attackers that we have. I feel like there's not as many things you want to burn now with Kali Ice Rider being gone now in this regulation, but like being able to burn something like a Rilla, or if the Annihilate doesn't fire Terra, which most of them do, but if they don't, getting a burn on that is always good. But still, no, I think with the rain stuff that's going on with Pelipper, with our Chaludon, like Incin's not quite as strong as people were expecting, but obviously it's still just a big staple and still really good.
I mean, when we say it's not as strong as it used to be, we're talking about that it's not at 80% usage.
Yeah,
that's fair. On that one.
That's fair.
That's very fair.
That's a good point.
It's only at 60% usage, you know?
So, I'm gonna throw it to Kurt. Kurt, what do you think #2 on the fire type list is?
Honestly, like I really have just been loving Volcarona just as an offensive option. Like you have so much going on. Again, you have Flame Body, which again might not be as used as much with the Urshifu's not as here as much. But still, just being able to get burns on things, setting up quiver dances, fiery dances, heat waves, and then also having options like, struggle bugs. That way you could produce special attack, or bug buzz if you're trying to go for just some raw bug damage, which isn't very common. Its downside obviously is going to be its horrible typing, but hey, guess what? Gen 9, we have something that fixes that.
You don't have to worry about typing. Yeah, I agree. I really like Volcarona. I feel it fits on a lot of teams right now. I've seen a lot of Clefable Volcarona, which is really, really good. I think Clefable is really awesome in Reg Age, and using it as that Pokemon to just kind of be the centerpiece of a team and put a lot of like setup mons around is a lot of fun, and Volcarona fits that really, really well.
100% agree.
John Luke, what do you think #3 is?
I think I know what #2 is. I think Volcarona is plenty good, but I think Paldean Tauros Blaze is actually #2.
Okay.
And for quite a few reasons, it still gets Intimidate like Incineroar. However, it gets Wild Charge. So all of a sudden, you have coverage options for those water types that are insanely pesky.
It does get Wild Charge.
And you get close combat for Arcalid.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, close combat stab too is good, but don't forget, I mean, even so, with that close combat stab, like our Caligon, if they've got 4, even 3 stacks of stamina, it's not going to do a ton,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, but you use it first, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I do think you use it on the initial
first,
hit. Yeah, you do use it for the initial hit and then use like a special attacker to clean it up.
Right, because my thing with it is like if you pair it, because a lot of our Calydons are going to run Terra Fairy, so you just Golden Go is such a menace that Paldean Tauros Blaze plus Golden Go is basically an incredibly good Archaludon answer.
Yeah, and that's a really good, honestly, I mean, fighting Ghost typing together kind of work really well on a team.
I agree.
Yeah, I do like the Tauros pick. I think Water Tauros is just a bit better personally, but I do like the Fire Tauros. I think it's a really solid pick. I definitely feel like this format gives you more options as far as taking a fire type versus in like the other formats, Reg G, Reg F. I think like you're leaning more towards like your Chi-Yu, your Incineroar, your more staple Pokemon, where this format's a little more open. So stuff like Volcarona, like Tauros can kind of come in and have that moment. So I do like that pick a lot.
It's weird what happens when you get rid of some of the best types in the game and then suddenly these others get to come through.
I know. It makes for such a fun format personally. I really like the lack of legendaries. I feel like it just makes team building all that much more fun. You can actually do stuff with some of these more niche Pokemon.
I absolutely agree.
I'm gonna pick Talonflame in our number 4 slot.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Gale Wings is a really good ability. Obviously, since it's nerf, I mean, it needed a nerf. I mean, having be able to priority spam Brave Bird is kind of busted, but still, I mean, it's still a priority Tailwind user. Even if you get the fake out on it, it's still really fast. And
I agree. It's like base 124 speed, which is one of the fastest Pokemon in the meta, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think it is one of the fastest. It outspeeds It outspeeds max speed Whimsicott. Which is fantastic. It's a really good counter for Whimsicott. I really like it with Covert Cloak. I do also love it gets Quick Guard. I like that because it shuts down a lot of those balance teams. I really like Quick Guard.
Wait, so it's base 126 speed, it looks like?
126, yep.
So it's faster than Kilowattrel too, by 1 point.
Yeah, it's just a really, really solid pick as far as a Tailwind setting option. Because, I mean, it comes down to, do you want Talonflame, Whimsicott, Murkrow, or Kilowattrel if you want a fast Tailwind setup? You can go other options, like obviously Pelipper exists and other slower Pokemon, but if you want that quick immediate Tailwind, those are your 4 options. So I really like Talonflame. I've thrown it on a couple different teams so far that I've been messing around with.
Life Orb, Max Attack, Stellar Terra is just so fun.
It's true, that's some best of 1 cheese right there, but I'm not lactose intolerant.
It is some best of 1 cheese. It is. So number 5. What do you guys think? Because I have something in mind, but I don't know if we're all gonna land on the same Pokemon.
I got a couple things going through my head, but I have most of mine that I like are probably more honorable mentions. Honestly, though, like if I really had to pick one, I would say probably Torkoal, only because it's the only real Sunsetter in the game. Sorry, Ninetales Cantonian. But I mean, it's super slow. Got the sun. You can pair it with the Hisuian Lilligant or even a Unova Lilligant for after you stuff. Really good in Trick Room. Eruptions are super strong. Like this is it, I think.
I am okay. Now that you've said it, I'm tempted to agree because I was actually going to say Hisuian Typhlosion.
That was going to be one that I like too, but
yeah, for
again,
Scarf, big lava plume stuff. But it is basically enabled by Torkoal, or I guess Sunny Day Murkrow. So you could make an argument, but I certainly think Hisuian Typhlosion should be in there. But I'm not necessarily going to disagree that Torkoal deserves to be in the top 5.
See, both of those are actually not the Pokemon I had in mind, but as I was scrolling through the fire types, I saw Torkoal, and I was like, we have to do 6 for this video.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw you typing, and I think I know who you were going to pick, and that was another thought in my head, but then you did the same thing where you scrolled, and I saw Torkoal. I was like, oh, yeah, it's got to be. We got to give it to Torkoal.
Torkoal definitely, especially, it's just a staple on Trick Room teams. It is, like, if you are running Trick Room, you pretty much are always running Eruption Torkoal. So I feel like you have to include it for those Trick Room folks out there. It's definitely a good one. We got to do an honorable. I think we could do a couple honorable mentions, honestly, for this video. I
already see 2 of them. Yeah, I already see 2 of them that need to be there.
I mean, if you really want to vote for Combuskin, sure. But...
obviously, it's Hisuian, Arcanine, and Armourouge.
This was the one that I had in mind. Hisuian Arcanine is definitely the one that I had in mind. I think it plays very nicely. I don't even think you necessarily need to run like anything crazy. Like you don't need the e-speed stuff, like, but just having good rock coverage, because I feel like there's not a lot of good rock options, especially now with Ogerpon being taken away. I definitely think that there's a place for Arcanine, especially just give it Clear Amulet, let it just Rock Slide spam. I think it's definitely.
And don't forget
really,
too,
really
I mean, it's held back by its typing, but again, that's what this generation kind of helps a lot of those Pokemon with. Don't forget, it has a lot of good, utility moves too. It has access to Will-O-Wisp. It even has access to Howl if you want to do anything crazy like that.
Where's Char?
Yeah.
About to pop in. But yeah, I think Hisuian Arcanine is great. Particularly, like, you can go super supportive. I faced the Citrus Berry one earlier for a video y'all will see later. But I mean, I play a ton of the like Choice Band, Clear Amulet stuff. So, and it's really versatile, which is something I particularly like about it.
I definitely think Choice Band is still a good option.
Yeah, it's a more offensive Incin when you give a Choice Band.
Yeah, it is definitely a
more
more
It's a strong fire type. You get
you
normal
turn
Terra
game
E-speeds if you want to go like Grass Terra.
I have seen a lot of Terra Blast as well, like Terra Fairy Terra Blast.
Yeah. I'm less a fan
with...
of that set, but it's fine.
Yeah, I have seen it because I mean, like fairy types are pretty limited in this format. Like one of the best fairy types is a support. Two of them, arguably, with Whimsicott and Clefable. So like, I definitely can see the value of having that Terra Blast for Terra Fairy just for the coverage option, especially because you are not enjoying a lot of fighting types with this Pokemon. So I like that option, especially because there's just not a lot of other coverage options available to you.
I mean, I think we're forgetting about. I faced a lot of Primarina. I think Primarina is like picking up quick.
I think it is too. It's a really solid option.
Yeah, as far as fire types, like if you're gonna have that fire pivot to fairy, like I think Arcanine's gonna be the one to do it.
Yeah, I personally really like this one. I think we should definitely do a couple more honorable mentions because it sounded like you guys had some.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely with John Luke here. I think Hisuian Typhlosion is really good. Again, having a ghost type, that isn't hindered by Flutter Mane and Calyrex Shadow, like, just the fact that those other two just pay everything every time, like, you never really got to use it. But I'm a huge Darkstun fan, and this is the fastest Lava Plume user in the game, is why I like this so much.
I'm gonna fundamentally agree with that, though. I think Darkstun is really good here, too, because it can do Body Press, because it also gets Howl, so you can combine it or something like that. So
also true.
That's fair.
So, and also, it gets Frisk in best of one closed team sheet ladder,
That is, like, I will say that.
Frisk is good.
One benefit.
Are you going to bring a Frisk one to a tournament? Probably not, but it's fun on ladder.
It is fun on ladder. It is. That's a good one. Are there other honorable mentions we want to throw in?
I think I saw looking at the list. I think there might be use cases for Chandelure. Might be one. Yeah. Again, it's that ghost typing. It can kind of go either way. Its speed is kind of middle of the road. Like you could go min speed, Trick Room.
It's got the same speed as Gallade, isn't it?
Yeah, and then Gallade can go either way too. You can either go super fast or super slow.
Yeah.
And 145 base special attack is
it's kind of nuts.
Also true. Yeah, that's the highest special attack in the regulation, I think.
Yeah, just throw a Choice Scarf on it, Terra Fire, put it with Torkoal, and all of a sudden you've got Jordan,
You could go, or you can even go Terra Grass and your Flash Fire too.
Yeah, Flash Fire saves you.
You get rid of that immunity. It has Energy Ball, so it hits hard with the Grass type move with the Grass Terra. Like I think Chandelure might be a little bit slept on. Just depending on again if you want to go the fast or the slow mode with Trick Room or Choice Scarf.
Yeah, for sure. I think this was a pretty good list. I definitely think it's way more clear cut than a lot of some of the other lists. Like we didn't have to necessarily talk so much about this because I mean really it comes down to fire slot. Do you want I mean Talonflame's kind of it's kind of like an outlier with Talonflame because I feel like the rest of these it's like I want Intimidate, I want to set up and do damage like with Torkoal and Volcarona. These two, like I want Intimidate. This one's just kind of like speed up and go. But I feel like it's just kind of a little more clear cut than the other ones, and there were a lot of good options to pick from compared to like the grass video. I know we were like talking a lot about different grass types. So yeah, it was a good video. I think this was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing some more of these. Thank you again, you two, for coming on. Anything you guys want to shout out? We can start with John Luke.
Yeah. When does this video come out?
Probably in the next few days. I have no idea.
So either soon or after this, I will be having a video coming out with me and Evan where we play with Quaquaball on Pokemon Showdown, and it is absolutely unhinged because it's like 1 a.m. and we're both very tired, but I need to get this video out. So
there you go. I'll have both their stuff linked in the description below. Kurt, you got anything you want to shout out?
No, not really. I sometimes stream on Twitch, not very often. I have a little Kurtastic who stops me from doing those sorts of things. But she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So
Fair enough.
it's always worth it. Whenever I can do it, I try to stream on Twitch.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming on again. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and sub for more like this in the future. But until next time, peace.